go up. Yeah, every time, man. You know what? I love that song. I actually love that song. And that song was created by an amazing human being called Jonny Knowles, who made it specifically for Candler Creative. Hello, everyone. Yo. How is everyone doing today? Welcome to CandlerCreative Chats. I'm Dan Candler. This lovely gentleman over here, Mr. Podcast Flame, is Chris Barton. I did it right this time. Look, Chris, I did it right.
Yeah, finally, man.
Every time, guys, if you're watching us live on YouTube, every time I usually point the other way because it's like opposite and I can never cope. But how are you doing, bro? How are you doing today, sir?
Yes, very good, man. Very good. It was
Good,
pretty chill.
man.
It was pretty chill day in the meeting earlier. It was a good meeting. We had a very good community meeting today.
It was a good community meeting. So whoever's not aware, so CandlerCreative Chats is a part of Candler Creative, which is a community. Chris is a part of that community, and we are slowly developing the community into an entity to support the whole of the creative world, all types of creatives, and that's what we're about, and that's what this podcast is about. It's about our growth. It's about the growth of the community. It's about the creative world, and just diving into different kind of topics about the creative world, so we can start to understand this world and change it for the better and create positivity. But today's episode 8, the
Bro,
debrief.
how many times have you given that speech?
Quite a few, and it changes every time.
Alterations.
There's so many different alterations. I have no idea. But today, Chris, we are talking about last week's episode. We're going to talk about last week's episode. We're going to debrief it. We're going to dive into it, because there was a few. So last week's episode, guys, who didn't catch last week's, we spoke to an awesome drummer, performer, musician, and just all round awesome creative, Charlie Barraclough. And we were talking about his life and his journey, and he had quite a really good insight into and a good mentality, I should say, like a really good mentality. And there's one thing that I kind of wanted to discuss with you today, Chris. That's something he said. I've got it in my notes here. And it was to do with this whole idea of like making it, and there was something specifically that he said. The idea of making it is just someone else's expectations and not your own.
Yeah, that was brilliant when he said that.
Yeah,
it was very, very on point, I thought.
Yeah, no, really on point, because I guess, making it, this idea of making it, I think causes so much anxiety within our lives, our creative lives, because we've seen something.
Though, you know?
Yeah. No, you're completely right. But I mean, the way I see creativity is everyone and everything. So we're getting philosophical. But I think, like, what was I going to say? I went over to go get my coffee, and then the thought.
Oh, bro,
like,
we're coffee cup buddies.
Hey, my guy.
But yeah, no, about expectations.
Yeah. Like, I think, I guess from a young age and throughout our lives, diving into these different creative fields, we look up to certain people, and we look up to these people, and we see what they've achieved, we see what they're achieving, and we see their success, and we think, I deserve that. Why have I not got that? And we think, I can get to that. So we push ourselves, we push to get to this idea of I've made it or making it, and what I really loved at what Charlie was saying is that his success is not to get to this pinnacle point of where he's supposedly made it, but his success is the progression, and it's the what was the particular words I was thinking of? It was
Just
the
journey.
process, the
Yeah.
journey, and that's exactly it. And I think if we can, I guess, change our mentalities to have two parallels of success.
Mm.
That's more of a parallel, not with a coffee cup.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, there you go. Two parallels of success, of like seeing someone who, you know, is doing something that you just think is amazing and wow, I would love to achieve that. Like that is a success. But I think the underlining success for ourselves is exactly what Charlie was saying. It's that journey. It's that it's the process. So you don't build up these anxieties towards, you know, not being there yet. You know?
Yeah.
What do you think?
I mean, I was trying to think about it after we had that chat, just like while on set or just going about my day afterwards. I was thinking about it in a hypothetical situation. Take any career, any job, right? Any person has their goals, right? Or like maybe where they want to be, or a certain reason for doing what they're doing, right?
Yeah.
If you put that person in a vacuumed world, right, where there was no other humans, would that person's, and everything was like they could still do everything, but they just, when you walked on the street, there would be no one else, right? If you went to a theater and you performed, there'd be no one in the theater. You know, like, of course it causes its own problems, but hypothetically, would that change the person's state of mind? And would that change their goal? Would it be easier to achieve their goal? Would it be harder? And it's true, like, expectations are very much society enforced on us. And I mean, I'm no expert on this myself. I mean, I constantly struggle with the expectation side of stuff. You know, in my head, I know, you know, I'm going to do the best I can with whatever job I get, with whatever opportunities come my way. But, you know, I still do constantly think when I'm walking down the street and I pass a dude in like a nice tux or like a nice, you know, lawyer suit or something, you know, I'm like, not quite same level. He probably gets to vacation in the Bahamas a couple more times than I do, you know. But that's not my goal, right? But that's the thing. I feel like we need goals to some degree, you know. But I think we have to make sure that they're very personalized and have a sense of growth for us as individuals. Because when they are so anchored on like society's expectations, I think then that's when you can get a lot more mental problems.
Yeah, well,
you're constantly needing the feedback and stuff, you know.
Yeah, exactly. It's the fact of like it's the societal expectations which then transitions into becoming the expectations of yourself. So you're then what was originally societal's expectations has created your own self anxieties, you know, the own anxieties within yourself, because you're creating those expectations for yourself when actually like it just doesn't exist. Like you should it just doesn't exist. You know, you've taken that from someone or from the society, and that which never existed within you. It's just you look at these different things that are happening and you think, oh wow, like that must be it, that must be what success is. When actually
success
like
is a whole other, you know, than idea, you know, when you think about what success means to each person. Because that can,
and as well like say you're looking at someone you know, an amazing actor or these different people, and you see you know, you see that they've made it. You're only seeing and this is said, I've heard this so many times, you're seeing an end result. They were you at one point, and they have been through that journey of grafting, hustling, and like having the mentality that they haven't made it yet, or they you know, they want to make it and be like this other actor or whatever.
Not everyone though, as well though, because you know, like in our society, in our industry, it can be so driven on luck. So there are like I think the majority, which I would say do try to hustle, but then yeah, you'll get the occasional actor or dancer or person who is just in the right place, right time, met the right person, and like, you know, obviously had the talent probably to show off what they needed, but they got in a lot quicker. So I don't know. It'd be interesting as a dancer and photographer, and you know, fellow community leader. I mean, you're the Candler Creative. You know, you are the man. Would you say that? And this is going to be interesting because I might have very similar answers to this question. But would you say that for you, is there a group of people or an industry which, if you're scrolling through social media, or when you're at a gig, an essay gig or an audition, or if you're at a shoot, is there a group of people who you tend to feel slightly, I don't know if nervous is the right word, but who you feel you compare yourself to because maybe they might be slightly higher up in the same industry, or, you know, like you think, oh man, like their level of dancing is like, I don't know, 3 or 5 years different to mine, or we're at the same level, but they've done this much, or I've done this much, and they've, you know, not done. Why is that difference? You know?
No, you know what is interesting? I've never actually been asked that question, and that's a really good question.
I mean, sorry, I know this is live.
Because I've never really thought. Because no, of course, no. I know that why. That's why I say it's a good question, because I've never really thought about it. I think before, when I was in college, when I was in dance college, yes, but I think as soon as when I was in dance college and when I was in Chrysalis, the contemporary company, yes, because you've constantly got people who you think is better than you. Like, wow, they can get their leg up here. Oh my God, they can do 4 pirouettes and then into layout, and like, you know what I mean? Like I mean, if anyone, I mean, for all the people who aren't dancers, a pirouette is basically turns on one leg. That's basically what a pirouette is. But you know, you would see that, and I think but I think now that I've kind of, because like I said in my episode when we were interviewing me, I think my underlined goal has always been to understand myself and my mentality and my mental health and grow within that. So I think, and as well, because I did so many different things, I think I always just kind of saw people as just people, and like, cool, they're doing their passion, and I love doing this, and you love doing that. It's cool, let's do that. But I think I can see how people, when they're, especially in like the dance world, you come up from being a ballet dancer from the age of 4, and then you carry on doing that until you go to dance college, and then you go out, and I can see anxieties towards that. But I can see how people would either look down or look up, you know, and say, oh well, I haven't achieved that, I've been doing this for so long and I still can't do that, and oh my God, like this is where I guess the mentality could change, or like, how do we change that mentality of and let and allow those types of people to enjoy the journey. I guess it also links with like competitivism. Is that the right word?
Yeah, I think you're right.
You know, like it because you're looking up to someone and going, wow, I can't do that. I can't do that many turns, or I can't do this, and like, oh my God, they're so much better than me. It's like why can't I be better than them? Or like, you know what I mean? It's this whole thing of competition, which just in my eyes, I just don't think needs to exist, because I think that that idea of competition has been led by this whole, I guess, capitalist societal mentality.
Yeah,
because we're constantly look at so this is the way society is. You go to work, you get promoted, you go to work so you can get more money, so you can become more powerful and all that, and that's just how shit is. So I can see how that translates into all kind of walks of life, creative, non-creative, all this, and I can see how that can be subconscious.
Yeah.
And people may not even think about it, No,
100%. I mean, there was just back to the expectations side. Did you ever watch what was it? Into the Spider-Verse? I'm sure you have.
Yes.
Okay, good. I'm just making sure. I loved the spray paint thing he does with his uncle in the subway, and then he like silhouettes himself with all the like creativity splashes behind him, all the colors, whatever, and then the dark silhouette of him, like as a young kid, and then in the background words saying "no expectations." I loved that when I first watched that film. I wanted to get a tattoo of that at one point, but I was
What, on your ass?
Yeah, like right over my ass, like tramp stamp.
Maybe we can get joining tattoos. Oh my God, maybe I can get the no and you can get expectations. So when our asses meet.
Bro, that is so weird.
I don't know whether we're
in the very rare opportunities when we like are in a changing room about to like do an essay gig or something, we have to make sure we stand in the right changing room order. So people
or we're the other way. Expectations, no.
Dang it, you forgot the order again, Dan.
You forgot the order. We always have to have a dressing room this side. You have to be here and I have to be here. Oh, that's funny. We have to, how do we as a society bloody just lose those expectations and become, lose the expectations of, I guess it also spans from like culturally and like family as well. Like certain types of cultures and families, they expect certain things from you. They expect you to be a doctor, they expect you to be this kind of person, a lawyer, earn loads of money, because the generational expectations have been from that societal mentality of like the success is you have lots of money and you have a partner and you have a happy family, you have a big house, that's the societal expectations. It's the same as like marriage. You meet someone and you're expected to meet someone, spend however long with them, get engaged to them, get married within that year, and then have kids. And that's just an expectation. It's a family expectation, societal expectation. And it doesn't have to be that way. Every single person in this whole entire world is unique and has their own thought processes, has their own feelings, has their own desires, has their own everything. But yet we still have to attach ourselves to something that we think is the correct way.
Which is like maybe just a generational thing as well. That was what was expected maybe back in like the 1920s or something. And then
it takes time and change. But I believe we're in a changing time. I think we're in a very changing, like and I mean, this goes definitely to do with social media and this, the amount of just the amount of information we all have, and the amount the
I'd say quite a drastic, like detrimental time almost. You know, like kind of make or break how we decide
yeah.
from here, because we've got
No,
just so much potential, and it's like what we do with that in the next decade, not even next 6 years, could be such a change to how we've
it's
been
going to
doing
be crazy,
things,
bro.
you know?
Let's just look at AI, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's
I'm talking about the AI stuff that's going around, like ChatGPT and all of that stuff. I think that was like 6 months ago that ChatGPT. I don't even know when ChatGPT started. But I'm pretty sure it was not that long ago, and they're already on generation 4, where you can upload a photo, like a drawing, and it will create a website for you, or it will create, like, it's just insane.
A
And
guy
that's
was
so quick.
Yeah, I watched this video actually recently where a guy was saying that you can take, say, a video, or like you've seen those videos where someone will speak, they'll do a voiceover, right? They'll have dialogue, they'll be playing Minecraft, say, a tutorial on how to build a house in Minecraft or do something like that. They will then take AI, dub in the captions from what he said into the AI engine. It will then spit back out. You can choose, right, who says the dialogue back. So, right, he said words in a video. It's written down in captions. He then takes the captions, puts it into the system, and he can spit it out back to him as if Trump was saying it, right? Or Joe Biden, so you can, or whatever. Take that, clip it over a video of you or someone playing video games, or even just a tutorial on how to do something, right? Put a desk chair together or something. And then upload he was like, there's another AI engine where you can then input in the script, I want to show how to assemble a desk and a chair, but I want the camera angles to be, a high drop down. I want to pan across from the front that lasts about 3 seconds. I then want to, zoom out for the beginning and end to sort of, bring the point at the beginning and then bring the point at the end. Take that script, then put it into a different AI engine, and then it'll spit out this whole tutorial video online with Trump saying the dialogue, right?
Yeah.
And that's a whole tutorial video. There's no copyright on any of that because he said the words, right? That AI is just off free text from Donald Trump's speeches, right? It got it just so it's learned, picked up words from his speeches that are free use online. Yeah. And he was saying, we're going to hit a point where there's no level to, copyright, right? He was like, you can create a whole song, in the style of Eminem, but you type in, I want music, lyrics in the style of Eminem. Let's talk about apples, making a smoothie. Apples, bananas, pears, peanut butter, and then throw a monster truck in the mix there somewhere,
Yeah, fully.
And you can never copyright it because it's just all original or slightly altered text. It's crazy.
And even while you were just saying that, my thought process towards what we were just speaking about, the whole expectations and AI, fitting them together sorry, fitting them together. Fitting them together. The way I think of it now, we're thinking of it literally just now, surely we will then get to a point where people have created certain videos or content, articles, pieces of writing that will seem amazing. They'll seem inspirational, and people could see that and almost take that as wow, oh my god, I need to be as like that. That's the expectations, is to be as good as that. But that's an AI, so it's not even like you're creating expectations from an actual human being anymore. It's now going to just it's all coming from these AI models and stuff online.
Yeah.
So it's not even, I mean, is that authentic? We're getting into a new weird realm, bro. I think I think it's going like too quick. Like we don't understand the repercussions that this is really going to have on our mental health. I mean, let's look at social media, bro. How we, originally we were like, oh yeah, no, this is amazing. Social media, like I can connect with everyone around the world. And now look, you've got people like forming anxieties, social anxieties, just normal like mental health issues, and all.
Sorry, keep going.
You
Keep going.
no, that's basically it. I was just, like, that's, creating all these problems which comes from social media. But back then, it's exactly the same. We're going through the exact same thing. Yes, it's amazing. Yes, we can create so much awesome content, and we can supposedly, help ourselves by offloading some of the work. And I think in some respects, some of it, yes, definitely can be beneficial. But how quickly are we really going to take that? And then what is that? What is the idea of making it? What is that going to be? What effect is that going to have on our mental health?
Yeah, no, 100%. I was just remembering we were talking today earlier about the expectations of social media as a creative, or people who want to boost themselves on social media.
Yeah, no, thank you for reminding me of that, Chris. Actually, because no, you're right.
Because that's also
because
and
I remember having this conversation with you because we were discussing about like Charlie, and like, he came to Candor Creative because he felt like he needed his content to be enhanced. He wanted to create better content for his Instagram, his social media. And it's what we were talking about earlier. Like it is interesting. Like, are we creating more anxieties for ourselves because of the expectations of social media? Because we now have to be a professional videographer, we have to be a professional photographer, we have to be a professional creative director, we have to be a professional social media marketer. Like, if we aren't producing amazing content, we have the anxieties and the stresses of being seen.
Yeah.
We have the anxieties and stresses of that we feel that we won't be able to be heard, because if we don't have amazing content, the algorithm is not going to show our content. We're not going to get it out there. And I think, yeah, that's where I think most of the mentalities need to just slightly adjust. Like adjust slightly. So it's like we said, well, oh yeah, no, well, I didn't say this on the last episode, but we said it after the episode. It's about rather than the algorithm controlling your content, it's about your content controlling the algorithm. We all have the power to change that algorithm. We don't have to stick to that algorithm. You just post whatever you want when you want to post it. And then if we all did that, like, and we just posted, not what the algorithm was telling us to post, but we just posted what we wanted to post when we wanted to post it, then they would have to change their algorithm to fit us.
Well, the thing is, though, it like tracks what you're interested in, and like each person individually, right? Like that's the whole point of it, is the input you give into it is how it judges what to spit back at you and what to influence you with, right? So like, I think I looked up sweatpants maybe once, like workout sweatpants with like a zipper. And
oh my god, he must love sweatpants. Oh my god, let's sell him those sweatpants.
I get that like all the time. But then but because, and we were chatting about this earlier, with I think a lot of creatives, the expectation of being consistent with what you post on socials, right? And I believe there is a good, like, that's good to have a certain level of consistency. But like, before I moved here, I didn't really think of consistency in my social media posting at all. Like, you didn't like, I was the first time I showed you my TikTok, you went through it and you were like, I don't know, I don't even know how many, I don't have that many followers, but I went through it, you saw it and you were like, what the heck, you have like 1,000 followers on this one, like sorry, 1,000 views on this one, 2,000 views on this. And then I was like, yeah, scroll down to the first one. and the first one was like 10,500 views. The whole reason for that was mine was very tailored to like Kenyan sort of common issues, or like Kenyan kind of common funny things. That's what I sort of, when I started TikTok, that was the whole thing behind it. So my first video was literally me sitting in traffic and people overtaking on the wrong side of the road. And it was like 15 seconds, you know?
Yeah.
And it got so much attention, but like my Instagram as well is so disheveled. Like I was posting the reels. I was telling you, I was posting the reels for like three different songs, and then I wanted to keep that up, and then I got kind of busy, so I just didn't post after a while. And then we started doing a podcast, and now I've got that, and then it's just
yeah. By the way, everyone, go check out Chris's Instagram. He's got some awesome. Is it called parodies? Is it a parody?
Or is sorry, I didn't mean to make that like a plug for like now.
No, I'm plugging you, bro. You didn't do it. I'm plugging you, bro, because you're dope. It's so sick, guys. It's so sick. Go check it out.
I need to do it more.
Chris.p.barton, as if I know your Instagram handle off by heart. Come on, man.
It's actually Christopher.
Oh, for God's sake.
The funny thing is, though, I keep getting told, like, have you ever thought that your name is like crispy, like a crispy cracker or something? Crispy Barton.
Yeah.
And I know, I just want to let the world know, I know that Chris Barton was already taken. I had to put the P in there because that was the only one that was still free. So yeah.
Crispy.
Anyway, though, then I was going to say was yours, on the other hand, the way you've done the Candler Creative one, you've started the trend, right? And then since we've put the podcast online, you've now tried to like stagger the post, right? Because aesthetically looking, it looks great, right? And people see that when they're on the page, and it's, you know, visually appealing. It makes it look a lot better. But yeah, there's the level of like I don't know, trying to make it aesthetically pleasing and trying to make, you know, get your stuff out there, but then managing the stress of trying to make it that, you know, the stress bar hits more than the actual like outcome of what is being produced. And that's the thing, at the end of the day, you should be loving what you're throwing out there. And I'm not saying you don't, but if the stress level overpasses what you get out of sending that post out, then that's when I think the balance is off. You know?
Well, this is me. This has been me recently. You know, I have to, and again, it leads back to this whole expectation. I'm trying to, you know, I'm trying to build this community. I'm trying to build something for myself. I'm trying to build myself and stuff. And it's that expectation of like having to be on over all platforms because I want to be seen. Like I want to spread this message and I want people to see this, but then it's the expectation of having to be on those social media platforms all the time, like constantly having people see your face, because if you don't, then you aren't seen. And I've been I've you know, I caused so much anxiety over the like last couple of weeks and stuff, and just really stressed about it because for me my main anxiety lies with especially when it comes to social media, is my dyslexia. I get very anxious about like what to write and what to put in the post and all of that stuff. So it's and I always feel like I have is that the right way of putting it? I'm expected. I feel, and this is my mentality, and this is what we're all about. This is what we're all talking about on this whole episode. Is my expectation for myself is that I have to have amazing content, and I have to have the perfect piece of I have to have the perfect caption, and it has to be the perfect layout. But that causes me so much anxiety, because like the way when I write, I always find it hard to get stuff out. And the expectation is to have a short caption and to have this and to have this kind of layout and to have this and this and this. So it gets to the algorithm, people see it and blah, blah, blah. But I find that very hard. Like I just write, it's like these podcasts, I just ramble on, I kind of just splurt out words because that's how my brain works. I find it hard to formulate sentences sometimes that I think probably to me makes sense.
Exactly the same, man. You'll see me start in one section and end up in something completely different.
Yeah. Like it's hard. So what I've recently been trying to do for my own mental health, my own mind, is take those expectations away from myself and go, if I don't post today, I don't post tomorrow, like that's okay. Like it's the same thing as like what I told.
How do you do that then? So like how do you personally go about taking those expectations off of yourself?
Yeah.
You might not have the answer to that, but I think that's the overlying question we all need to ask ourselves.
That is the overlying question. It's a question we're asking ourselves today, and we should be asking ourselves. And it's true, Chris. I don't know if I have an answer. I think it took me at breaking point last week or so, when I had a bit of a mental breakdown, to kind of in fact I was at ASOS. I was working at ASOS, and I was just like looking at myself, not physically looking at myself, but I was thinking to myself like something needs to change. That's why the next day I went for a run. I'm doing like a press up challenge on TikTok where I'm just basically just like, I'm just posting I'm doing an extra press up every day. It's the same as our podcast flame, Kelvin Hewlett.
Oh my God!
Do it now. Do the press ups. We want to see more press ups.
Oh my God. Guys, we have Mr. Kelvin Hewlett himself, the podcast flame.
Whenever you mention push ups, I just arrive. Go beast mode.
As if the bat signal was in the air. Kelvin just.
I just did my 53 push-ups. Man.
Is that why I can sense the energy in your voice, bro? I can sense the energy in your voice.
Beast mode.
And it's interesting with these push-ups though, because it's not like I'm expected to do them every day. And I think this is, but that is for me. And what I've quite liked about TikTok, for me personally, yes, everyone says you have to do 5 TikToks and you have to do this, but I think what TikTok has actually done for me is loosened those expectations, because the way I look at TikTok is like a practice run for Instagram and for the other social media platforms. So I use TikTok now just to post whatever the hell I want at any given time, and there's no expectations for myself to post the perfect content or to do this or to do this. I just go, oh, cool. Like, you know what? I'm gonna do a reel. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do my push-ups. And then even if I do just my push-ups, every day, because my TikTok is my personal photography life kind of TikTok. I've got we've got the community TikTok, and then I've got my TikTok. And, you would think that the expectation of my photography TikTok would be to do all of these BTS reels and to do all of these. Wow, this is how I use a camera, and this is how I take photos. But what that has done for me is it's made me go, you know what? I'm just going to post whatever I want. Sometimes I'm going to do this, sometimes I'm going to do this, but as long as I'm spreading positivity, I don't care. And I think that, because I've been doing that for quite a while now on TikTok, I think that has kind of allowed me to loosen my expectations up around myself for social media and stuff. But yeah, Kelvin, what I was going to say is, Kelvin, I'd love to get your input on this. Now you're here. I mean, if you feel like showing yourself, show yourself.
Hey, let me get on board with the crew. What's happening?
Oh my God! Oh my God, Kelvin, you're looking fresh, son.
I'm telling you,
man. Why are you not in your comfies, man? Every week you've got comfier and comfier.
Well, when I'm doing, believe it or not, when I'm doing these push-ups, I gotta take them off because unfortunately it's too much weight.
So every gram is just
that's what I'm saying. Every little gram will help. Plus, I used to do it in the comfies, but one person left a comment saying bro's doing push-ups on his knees because you can't see my knees.
Oh yeah, I remember. Oh
yeah.
So I've
It's
stopped.
so weird that
Yeah.
you can get hate for like
Oh.
push-up videos. It's been so interesting hearing you guys talk about this.
Listen. I literally
People
just
hate
looked.
on anything.
I literally just I did a review on The Little Mermaid and just gave my thoughts and opinion reaction. First time seeing it, and I got a review and the lady, someone said trash reaction. Literally called my reaction trash. This is my genuine reaction for seeing it for the first time. She was like, trash reaction. So tired of these stupid opinions. And I was just like, well, can only be yourself. I was like, well, what? I can't react like how other people react. You can only react like yourself, right? I just gave my
fake reactions. You know, like that's what people are expecting almost.
Oh yeah, they want
over the top or under the top acting almost. You know, but when you actually react, I feel like that's when people are like, that's not what I wanted.
No, I wanted. Well, the thing is, if you have a preference, or let's say, for example, I wasn't too excited about the film Little Mermaid when I saw the trailer. I thought, I don't think it's gonna be good. But if you saw it and you thought, wow, this looks amazing, and then you hear me saying that, you're gonna have a negative reaction. So you're either just gonna go by or want to give your thoughts. And I think you gotta leave it as it is. That's what the platform's there for. It's everyone's not gonna be positive. I use it as an opportunity to learn what people's thoughts are, or what they're thinking, how they're gonna react. Because in my mind, I'm going, I wouldn't have said that, but actually, this is quite interesting. Wow, someone actually look at that review and go, that's trash. I'm like, okay, cool. There you go. Just an opinion at the end of the day. I'm not gonna die over it.
Yeah. No, I'd love to hear what people are even thinking about this, what we've been doing here. If you do have any thoughts, guys, comment and send us a review and all that shit.
But differences are good. They challenge people. They challenge your thoughts, your minds. So it's cool at the end of the day. At the end of the day, whether you think it's good or bad, you think we could have done a better job, it's a life lesson being learned. So that's why. Just do it.
Yeah. Well, okay, let's spend. I mean, we've got however long, but I'd love to hear your thoughts now. You've jumped in, Kelvin, about what you think about this whole idea of making it, and these expectations that we've put upon ourselves due to, I guess, due to looking at people you may inspire to or to be, or because of, I guess, what we were speaking about, Chris, about societal's expectations and how that has impacted our own lives and our own mentalities and our own expectations upon ourselves. What's your I'd love to hear your thoughts on that.
You want to know in terms of what creates anxiety and stress?
No, I guess I didn't really ask the question there, did I? Just your thought process on this idea of making it.
Making it. Like, that's actually no, I like the question. Making it. I think no matter what it is that you want to do it or you want to achieve in life, everybody wants to. They want to make it. I think making it actually means making money. I think because you want to be comfortable. And I guess there are different layers. For example, if you're here's a good example. If you're passionate about music, for example, making it for you isn't necessarily the dollars and the pounds. It's about actually getting really good at this skill, right? And so nothing else in the world matters. So you pursue this thing over and over and over again. I used to be like that with go ahead.
And I'm sorry, Kelvin. I'm just kind of going off of what because this whole episode today was kind of we're kind of debriefing last week's episode when we spoke to Charlie Barraclough, who's a drummer.
Yes.
And he said something along those lines, those lines of what you just said. We were talking about, some musicians have this idea of like they've made it when they've hit Wembley. And then we were saying like, okay, cool, you've hit Wembley, you've performed at Wembley. What's next? So what are you just going to create, and his idea of making it, his idea of success is the process. It's exactly what you were just saying, that idea of just constantly getting better at your craft.
But you'll only go as far as your mind, as long as your mind can see. You see, some people don't have a wall. Like, for example, with me in training, there is no wall. There is no pinnacle. There's no one I've seen so far in the fighting world and training world where I've gone, wow, that's the level I want to get to, and then I'll be happy. There is no wall. You are always trying to better yourself and pursue something that's amazing, next level. Some people actually do have a wall. Most people in life, making it for them is, I want to finish school, I want to get a nice job, I want to get comfortable, I want to be able to have enough money. I don't care if I'm working loads of hours. I can support myself and my family, come home, put myself on the couch, watch TV, money's in the bank, everything's paid for, I've got no bills, I finally got that home that I wanted, I've got everything, I've made it now, I don't need anything else. I'm happy, I'm comfortable. This is the Western world I'm talking about. I'm content with that. They have made it. Me now, I'm just going to speak for all of us, because we're all creatives here from in a different world. If we got to that level, we would not be happy. Because we'd be like, yeah, I got no bills. Yeah, I'm working this job. I'm making all this money, but I do not feel content. Why is that? Because there's a bar that you've set for yourself. And there's a vision, there's something that you can see, and you're constantly trying to attain it. And when you're constantly trying to improve, when you achieve that thing that you were envisioning, unfortunately for you, you go, hold on, but there's other layers I can see now. I want to go after that. You know what I mean? So go
what
on.
Do you think? Sorry, Kelvin. So what do you think then is the more impactful for each person? The internal expectations or the external expectations?
Definitely it differs to individuals. Most people, I would say, is external. They have something that they can because you hear, when I hear people say my idol was this individual, that was the thing that helped push you get to that level. There's very few people that have that internal push where they don't need to see what everyone else is doing. They just had this they came across something in life, and then they have this vision, and then they have that constant drive. And I feel this way because like I said, training has always been something I've been very passionate about, and there's nothing that I can see. I've never seen anything on TV. It's inspired me, but it's never pushed me. It's always from within where I've gone, this thing, there's this thing I'm seeing that I'm not happy, I'm not there. So I watch fights. I'm big on fighting. I watch fights and I get bored because I'm not seeing from the fighters this vision I have in my head. And I was like, well, the only way for me to achieve this vision that I'm seeing is for me to actually go out and do it. You know what I mean? So sitting down on the couch watching fights is just not good enough. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's funny. I've always kind of thought about that. What you were just saying about having certain inspirations and idols that push you to that. But I've always found it weird, I guess, that I've never really had like an idol or someone that I've like truly looked up to. It's always changed. But then you have certain people who know, like, this has been my inspiration. Like, this person has just made me who I am. And I've always found that weird. But then again, thinking about it just now, is that the expectations of society?
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
100%,
Is that the
yeah.
expectations that I'm putting on myself from society?
Oh, you know,
That I have to, I'm expecting myself to have an inspiration, but
there is a tide there. Yeah.
You know,
you have to be
mean,
brave to
yeah.
to step away from the norm and do something different. When I used to, the way I trained when I was younger, going to martial art classes, I used to be mocked. Mocked because I was obsessed with Dragon Ball Z. I changed my fighting style, all this stuff. And I remember I was sparring this guy, and he said to me, "This isn't Street Fighter, Kelvin. Spar properly." And I said to him, "Well, what we're sparring now," and I said to him, "Well, if it's so silly, beat me then." That was just like,
and then the gods come on, fight.
Because back in those days I was pretty good, but he was just so used to me fighting in a certain way that when I was doing something awkward and different, he's like, "What are you doing? This is not Street Fighter. Fight properly." I was like, "Well, beat me then." I kept on with the same stupid stance, and like,
how old were you?
I was around, I think 16 around this time. 16.
It's just like, all right, money where your mouth is, then, man.
I can see 16-year-old Kelvin as clear as day.
But I did
wearing your same Naruto, wearing your same Naruto
badge, yeah.
Just trying to fucking kicking ass.
Well, I was gonna say, I did have an inspiration. My before Bruce Lee, Bruce Lee was like the pinnacle for me. I saw this guy once. I didn't know who he was because didn't have TV and stuff growing up. When I came across Bruce Lee, I was like, "Oh my god, that guy did 1,000 kicks. He did this and he did that." I just saw it just briefly once, and after I saw that, I went, "Right, I gotta beat that then." Go to work, and whatever he did before, what his fighting style was, didn't care. Like, you can ask me a whole bunch of information about Bruce Lee. I still up to this day can't really tell you all the ins and outs of Bruce Lee. I know he's the greatest, but when it comes to how he achieved so and so on, I just saw what he can do. Right, let me figure out how I can get to surpass that and all this. But what really opened my eyes in terms of doing something impossible was when I watched Goku run on Snake Way in Dragon Ball Z first episode, and I was like, "What is this?" I was like, "People don't run this fast." And then as I kept on watching the episodes, I thought, in terms of trying to achieve something impossible, I was like, I gotta be able to do what these guys are doing in the anime. I didn't care what they were doing. I was like, I can do that too. Let's go.
Yeah.
You know?
I can change my hair gold.
I'm seeing Kelvin in his room just
look,
trying to shoot out fireballs.
Oh, look, they used to laugh at me, but it changed the game. That anime changed the game for me forever, because I've never been pleased with anything.
I love Dragon Ball Z. Yeah, it's even just thinking about it then. When I was growing up, I think I did have certain inspirations, but if I look back now, it was never inspirations of their success or who they were. It was always their energy that they were giving off. So, like, I remember very clearly that I think when I was younger, I watched a lot of Lee Evans, who's a comedian, and I remember almost looking at his energy and the positivity he was giving off in his comedy shows, the energy he was giving off, the characteristics, and I would see that and I'd be like, oh my god, like that, like he's so upbeat, he's so bubbly, he's having such a great time. And I remember in school just being like this weird kind of like energetic kind of like clown, and looking back now, I can now see how my inspirations were always personality driven and and mentality driven. Not like, okay, wow, they've achieved that, they've done that on that film, I need to get to that level. It was always like, wow, that is such a decent human being. How can I be like that dude? You know? And I think that actually, if we're going deep now, I think that even maybe stems from like my dad. Like, my dad is such a he's such a humble, caring individual with such an amazing heart. And I think that my inspiration actually probably leads from that, because it was, you know, I had him as a father figure who was just always kind of there and supportive and caring, and you would and you know, I would have that in my life, and it just made me want to be a better person. So my creative inspirations was from my mum. She was an artist and she did loads of different creative things. But then I think my inspiration for my mentality dates back to my dad's. You know, because he just seems so content within himself, and I just always saw that, and I saw the parallels of my chaotic mind, of just always being chaotic and mental, just everything happening, and then seeing my dad and seeing him, you know, feeling so content or at peace, that I'm like, wow, like, how do I achieve that? And you know what, even thinking about it, I don't even think I've really ever thought of it like that until just now.
Oh, I take off after the same thing, the chillness. Whenever I go and or I visit my father, or like I would walk into our living room back when I was back at home. Yeah. I realized I would be thinking about something or stressing about it, and then he would like meet the same issue with such a relaxed tone. Yeah. And I realized, same thing.
But you know why
I've taken off that so much growing up.
You know why that is? Because all of you will have the exact same thing as you get older. It's a man's life, man. A man's life. He takes on so much burden and stress, more than. And people forget that the world itself is built by men, and that doesn't just come because the way things are structured and the societies that have been built, and there's some sort of system. You think that just comes across because you have this chaotic mind and you can't piece things together. At some point you learn to be accountable. and being accountable means I gotta get my shit together. I really got to
know how to manage certain situations or emotions.
I can't panic 100%. All the time, you know. They say women are nurturers. If you have a woman
with a kid, sorry,
that's what I'm saying.
But if you have a kid, I mean, I don't know, but I'm sure for you, when you're hit with something, is that something in the back of your brain that sort of pings if your daughter's around, just like, okay, I need to make sure I process this in a way because she's going to see how I process this?
It's instinct for me, but more so because of what you guys were saying, because I had a father figure that reacted that way. I would deal with it a lot differently, so I can't give myself all the credit and just life experience, but you guys are correct. Because of what I have seen from my father figure, I know how to deal with these situations, and I have to come at it with a different approach, and that requires me to be less panicky, really collect my thoughts together, and make sure that what I am passing on to my child is something that's beneficial, that's going to benefit her in the future. You know,
it's there already from what you've seen with your father. Yeah.
Oh yeah, 100%. And the thing is, you both of you have this. It just comes out naturally. You have it now. I see it from time to time. When you're in admiration, you go, I wonder when that's going to happen to me. I wonder if I'll ever be able to be like that. You're already doing it in your own way, and you get better and better at it as time progresses and moves on, you know, because I know you're going through pressures, you're going through hard times now, you're trying to figure out things. There's sometimes suffering, and suffering really helps you to grow as a man. Yeah, you know, there's no one on the planet right now who is living on their own who is not suffering. Suffering, there's different levels of suffering. Obviously, we're not having it worse off as other people, but you're going through some sort of suffering, you know. If you weren't going through any suffering, then you wouldn't be talking about anxiety and stress and things that you'd be feeling about that you're going through today. You'd be like coming here happy, good every day. Life is so great, guys. Let's do another podcast.
Oh my god, guys!
It's amazing out here. I can't believe how great life is. Like, how are people suffering?
Well, I've got no money. Oh man.
Yeah.
Yeah, fully. Cool. We're getting close to, well, we are at the hour point. Trying to keep this to 45 minutes to an hour, so all of you lovely, wonderful human beings who are tuning in can listen. But I was even just thinking while you were speaking, Kelvin, and I'm wondering whether we can try and set ourselves an internal goal, and for all the listeners and the people tuning in stuff out there as well, like, can we set ourselves a personal goal from watching this and being within this space to lose those expectations upon ourselves, and to, over the next week, just do things for you. Do things for yourself. Do things because you want to do it and your energy and your heart is telling you to do it. If you find yourself forcing yourself to post on social media, or forcing yourself to get out here and do this, and you're not doing it because your heart is telling you to do it, just drop that expectation. Drop it and just do it for you. And let's all try and achieve that this week and see how we get on. I've been trying to do it over the last week, and I've been trying to drop these expectations myself, and these expectations of having to be the perfect community and have the perfect podcast and have the perfect social media account. It doesn't need to be perfect. We will constantly be growing, and we have this time to grow. So let's do that.
I firmly believe happiness is easier to attain than most people think. It can be so small.
And I constantly always repeat this quote from Sadhguru, because the quote changed my life. But you are the cause of your own misery.
Yes.
100%.
You are the cause of your own misery. You are the one that can create happiness within yourself.
He's right.
No one else.
It's all in the mind, man.
It's all in the mind, guys.
Yeah.
So with that, we're going to end it. Next week, we have a slightly different episode. It's slightly different. All the people listening and not watching, we just had a nice, lovely head shake there. But next week is slightly different. Usually, I've been hosting. I've been the podcast kind of flame, hosting these and interviewing and stuff. But next week, I'm not going to be here, guys. I'm not going to be here, but we are going to have an interview. We're going to have an interview with an awesome human being, with Mr. Kelvin Hewlett, who will be hosting next week, and Chris Barton will be joining Kelvin. And I'm going to leave it to you, Kelvin, to introduce the interviewee.
Yes. Next week we're going to be interviewing one of my good friends. His name is Sham Ahmed. It's all about social freedom, and you guys are in for a ride. I mean, he's had me do a lot of strange stuff on the streets. But what he does really works. It helps you get rid of that social anxiety, all that stress, and little things that attacking that ego. That's how he likes to put it, attacking that ego. But he's a genuine guy. He's a very special friend to me. He's just a regular guy, man. And the work that he does for people, and he doesn't even have to. He's got a regular job, And I'm expecting big things for Sham in the future. And like myself, we just want to be consistent and just keep pursuing something, because I think that's what life is all about, is to pursue. To be consistent, like you said, just don't think twice about it. Be yourself, and that's it. See what comes from that. But yeah, you're gonna learn a lot about Sham next week. Hopefully, we don't ramble on too long.
I'm excited, bro, and I'm gutted I'm not gonna be able to be there, but it's gonna be really interesting listening to the podcast. I'm gonna try and tune in. Next Sunday, but it's going to be interesting, and I'm really looking forward to your guys' chat. So yeah, guys, just like every single week, we are live on YouTube at 8 p.m. GMT. So come and join in. Come and join the Creative Chats. And yeah, For those of you who are listening on Spotify and Amazon, we release this every single Monday at 12:30. So be sure to tune into that. Follow, subscribe, give us an awesome review. Or not. But yeah, let us know what you guys think. If you guys have any topics you want to discuss, comment in the comments. And yeah, I hope everyone has a great week. Thank you, Podcast Flames, for joining me today. And Kelvin, it was such an awesome surprise to have you join us. So thank you so much, bro.
No problem,
and
man.
Chris, it was a great discussion the whole episode. So thank you so much, guys. Peace out and have a wonderful, wonderful week, life, year, whatever it is. Peace. Wee.
My favorite bit.
Yeah.
Oh,
And it was
yeah.